What up, y'all? This is Tracy from Nerd Squish, and today we're going to be talking about Psycho Goreman. We're here to talk about a movie that I have just recently watched that may very well be one of my new favorite movies, ever. The movie is about two siblings that unearth this gem that controls a demonic alien creature, and they befriend him because, if you're a kid and you're in the dirt digging your own grave because that's what your sister made you do, and you find a glowing gem and, a demon comes out of the ground, I would be friends with him. It's the only logical choice. I'm just saying. I'm gonna start this review by saying that this movie is absolutely ridiculous. It's not for everybody. It's so hard to describe it because I really feel like it's just kind of off the wall and wild, which is, I feel like, why I like it. It is a horror comedy, which is a jam, so there's that, right? But it's so much more than a horror comedy. It's very much a R-rated Power Rangers, or a mixture of Power Rangers and a good old 80s, 90s, sci-fi kid adventure befriends the monster movie. If you could combine those things, this is that movie. It's hilarious. It really is hilarious. So this creature that they unearth, Psycho Goreman, or PG as they call him, which is wild that you have this demonic creature and the little girl's like, what up, PG? But that's the really funny thing, is that so the main character, Mimi, she's the one that really holds the gem and kind of controls this creature. And they just have this really weird, psychotic, but also amazing relationship where, she just sees him as oh, this is my little puppy dog and we're gonna go hang out and have adventures and do stuff. And he's like, I will watch all of you suffer as I rip your heads from your spines. And she's like, see you later, PG. Bye. This is her best friend, and it's hilarious, the dynamic of the two. And the little girl, Mimi, who's played by Nita Josie Hannah, very interesting name, that little girl just hit it out the park. She is so good. I've never seen her in anything else, but if this movie's any indication, this kid could do some stuff. She is so good at this role. She just plays this very sassy, kind of a bully character, especially to her brother, even though she's the little sister. But she just plays the coolest little character. And like I said, her very bubbly, outgoing, sassy character or personality paired with this demonic creature of doom is genius. And it definitely does remind you, I feel in the 80s and the 90s, we saw a lot of those kid befriends the monster, they go on adventure movies. We saw a lot of that stuff, and this is very much on par with that. So while the main character, Mimi, is definitely one of the best things about this movie, I would say that the second best thing about this movie is the practical effects. We are going old school. It's all practical. And the reason that it reminds me of Power Rangers is very much that style, costumes and special effects makeup, and it's just so fun. The whole time I was watching this, I just felt like a kid again, watching cheesy, terrible monsters, but secretly just loving them. Okay, it's not a secret because I just told you. Anyway. It is so fun. I think the practical effects are worth watching this movie alone. They are so cool to see, especially some of the creatures are extremely creative. Some of them are oh, okay. Your main boy, Psycho Goreman, he gives me Jeepers Creepers vibes. Why? I don't really, he doesn't right out look like the creeper, but something about there's a specific scene which also just cracks me up. The fact that they have a whole montage with this little girl and this monster, and she's dressing up in these outfits, and the outfit that they pick is straight up Grant from Jurassic Park. I'm talking denim shirt, the tan hat, the red bandana, he is Grant. And it, for some reason, I think it's the hat. it's the hat combo with the like makeup. He looks like the creeper, but like, I don't know. This is where my mind went. Since this is a horror comedy, and not only that, but like a completely over-the-top ridiculous horror comedy, the jokes are everywhere. Like, I was laughing throughout this entire movie. Like, specifically, I'm not, you know, trying to like spoil things, but I will say two things, and if you've seen the movie, you know. Specifically, the toilet scene with the dad. It's just good. It's just funny. I laughed so hard. So hard. Even so much that the second time I watched it, I laughed just as hard, if not harder. And then the, "Not my hunky boys." If you know, you know. But you will definitely get laughs out of this movie. And when I say I compare it to, you know, the Kid and Monster Adventures from the 80s and the 90s, like, don't expect like some big dramatic thing at the end where it's all gonna turn around. Like, I'm not trying to spoil the ending, but I will just say this, that this movie definitely does have like little glimpses of like a heartfelt, emotional story, and then it follows it up with like ridiculous, like, melting deaths. It definitely stays true to the horror comedy title. This movie is probably one of the best movies that I have seen in the last year. For several reasons, really. It's a genuinely fun movie. Like, you sit down and you watch this movie and you are so wrapped up in the jokes, the cool practical effects, and just like this little world that they've built that literally you don't think about anything else, which, if anything, is what we all need during this crazy, weird time that we're in. So if you want an escape from what's going on, watch this movie, because you will escape into hilarity and ridiculousness, and I think that's what we all need. And it literally gave me no complaints. Like, I watched the movie, and I feel like even some of my favorite movies, I can sit down and I can like love it, but like see one little thing and I'm like, I don't think I had that moment in this movie. Like, the whole time, like, it was just so perfectly dumb and weird that like it just worked. It was so good. Like I said, if you're not into horror comedies, this is probably not the movie for you. But if you just want like a completely fun movie that has no ulterior motive, no like big message, it's just good, plain, nasty fun, this is the movie for you. I highly recommend Psycho Goreman. So fun. Let me know in the comments down below if you've seen the movie, what you thought about it, who your favorite character was, and whether, you know, PG pulled off that sweet Grant cosplay. If you liked this video, make sure you give it a big old thumbs up. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you nerds later.